bachelor's and a professional science master's in applied physics from the University of Northern Iowa. I'm an engineering manager and senior systems engineer at Coherent Technical Services Incorporated. I work in the development of common architectures for unmanned air systems for the Navy. After getting my professional science master's at UNI Physics, and in particular my research time there, I found that I had a lot of the tools that I needed to be successful as a systems engineer. The distributed focus in many areas allowed me to have a wide variety of tools in my toolbox that I could leverage towards any type of job that came my way, and this really helped me to stand out above my peers. The ability to transition from a macro to a micro and then to a nanoscale and back in a single conversation was invaluable and has proved very helpful in engineering development as a whole. One thing in particular that led me to UNI above some of the other options that I was looking at was the people, the professors, the size of the program. UNI Physics really became like a family. I appreciated that. Everyone knew everybody, for good or bad. It was a very fun place to be, and I don't regret a single minute of it. I think it was the right choice for me, and I would recommend it to anyone, anytime.
Hi, my name is Eric Shields, and this is my UNI Physics story. My story starts in 1993 when I was a freshman, and I started working with Dr. Dale Olson in his holography lab. He needed help setting up the lab for the more advanced courses, and I was willing to help and learn in any way that I could. What impressed me about the University of Northern Iowa's physics department was the commitment that the faculty have for undergraduate education. You could see that they really had a passion for teaching. It wasn't just something that was an obligation as part of a faculty member, or that it was not something to be passed off to a teaching assistant or something like that. They also do a lot of meaningful research, but they do so with undergraduates, and so I valued my education because I got to do 4 years of research with Dr. Dale Olson in optics. And that prepared me for graduate school at the University of Minnesota, where I went to the electrical engineering program rather than physics, but I was still doing optics. I was doing diffractive optics and micro-optics, and I earned my PhD in 2003. The UNI Physics program really prepared me for graduate school. I was able to work independently, which is something, of course, you need to do for a PhD, and I was able to teach myself, so the areas that I needed to come up to speed in electrical engineering to pass the qualifier, I was able to teach myself. I was also able to excel in classes like solid-state physics and things like that were part of my core coursework, as well as all of my optics classes. In 2003, I got my PhD in electrical engineering from the University of Minnesota, and I started working as an optical engineer at Sandia National Laboratories. My physics degree has benefited me greatly at Sandia as well. As an optical engineer, I work on programs related to remote sensing for non-proliferation and national security systems. As part of my work, I work with a lot of engineers from all different sorts of disciplines. Mechanical engineers, structural engineers, thermal engineers, focal plane engineers, software engineers. You can imagine all sorts of people working in a national laboratory like that. What my physics degree from UNI has allowed me to do is to work with those teams and to better understand their disciplines. Sometimes an important part of my job is just acting as a translator from the traditional optical engineers to the other disciplines. So that's my UNI physics story. I don't know where your UNI physics story will lead you, but I can be sure that it's going to lead you along a path where you're going to be solving some very difficult problems and you'll be well prepared to do so. So with that, thank you, and go Panthers.
Hi, I'm Chris Stark, and I graduated from UNI with a BS in Physics in 2004. I went on to earn my PhD in Physics from the University of Maryland, and after graduating, I studied astronomy at the Carnegie Institution in D.C. Now I'm a postdoctoral fellow at NASA Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, where I'm helping plan future mission concepts to directly image extrasolar Earth-like planets and search for signs of life outside of the solar system. My physics degree from UNI was the launching point for my career in astrophysics. I actually enrolled at UNI with the intention of majoring in business, but after taking a general education physics course, falling in love with the subject, and seeing the high-caliber professors in the physics department, I had to switch. While I was in the physics department at UNI, I benefited from top-notch instruction and hands-on research experience. I love what I do for a living now, and I know that my physics degree from UNI made it all possible.